so now we have drawn this really great illustration. We've worked really hard putting all this on here, and now we're going to transfer the outline of it over to another page. You could do another page in your sketchbook, or you could put it in on mixed media paper, and then we're going to use color pencil. And what mixed media paper is just basically, it's a lot like sketch paper, but it's a little thicker. It's a little bit thicker. You can paint on it. Here's a good example that I was practicing my strokes with some new brushes on here, and so that's what I did on my mixed media paper. That's one of the things you can do. On this one, what we're going to do is I'm going to transfer our drawing, the outline of this drawing on here, and then I'm going to do the color pencil rendering on, and all the colors and everything on this mixed media paper. That's just another way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking tracing paper, and I'm laying the tracing paper on top, and I'm just going to go over all of the basic shapes, because we've kind of already worked really hard on this drawing, right? So this is where you can go in, and this is not perfectly round. Maybe I wanted it more round. So this is where you're going to go in and trace over. Go ahead and trace over your donuts. And then go and trace over, you know, the shadow of the donut. And, you know, you have another donut behind here. And you're just going to go through, and we're going to trace over all of the basic shapes. And we're not going to color it in yet. We're drawing over the basic shapes, and we're going to transfer this drawing that we've worked so hard on, and we're going to transfer it over to another piece of paper where then we're going to go in and color it with color pencils, adding our shadows and shapes and decoration. And of course, this is a good time to go in if you want, and maybe there's a shape you didn't like. This is where you can redesign your cake before we start in on the color pencils. And I think this needs to be more round than what I had. This is round, round. Kind of want them to look more drippy. So this is a good time to go in and make them look a little more drippy. If one of the shapes looks like it's lopsided, or maybe one of the lines is not right, this is where you go in and we can alter it and change it and make it better and new. So we're just going through, and you're going to trace all the main lines, all of the loops. You're going to go through here, and we're going to do all the main loops and circles, and so we can transfer our drawing onto this other page. So then we can color it with color pencils. All right, so once you have all of the basic shape traced out and ready to go, then what we're going to do is I'm going to go to this other paper. Like I said, if you just want to turn the page in your sketchbook and keep going, you can. I want to use this other paper. So now that we have our tracing paper ready to go, and I have the other page, which is the multimedia paper. I am going to go over to a window. There are two different ways that I'm going to show you how to transfer this image onto new paper. The first way is both ways is to use light. So the first way we're going to do it is we're going to take our paper that we've just drawn on, this tracing paper that we've just drawn on. We need tape. We're going to tape the page up on a window. Then we're going to get our other page that we're going to transfer the image onto, which is, I'm using the multimedia paper, just like I talked about. I tape it onto the window. So the tracing paper is underneath. The regular paper that I'm going to do my color pencil work on is on top of it. And then I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to lightly go over the pencil lines again. This is how we're going to transform all this incredible drawing that we've already worked really hard on to a new piece of paper, so then we can do color pencil. I am also going to show you how to do this on watercolor paper. So transferring the image is exactly the same way. You already have the tracing paper. You put it on a window. You put the watercolor paper on top of it, tape it to the window, and trace your image over onto the watercolor paper. Now the second way I want to show you is using a light box or a light table. I have a light table because I've been an artist a very long time and I've been working on art for a very, very long time. So I actually have a light table. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, the thing I wanted to show you is my light table. You do not have to buy a light table. You can just buy a light box. But this is my light table. I've had this for years. I've done a lot of illustration on it because, you know, when you're tracing and trying to figure out what you're doing and how you're doing it, it's really great to have a light table or a light box to trace and experiment. Okay, we have already taken this tracing paper, and remember we traced the outline of our cake, and then I'm putting this watercolor paper on top. I'm actually taping it down just a tad. I'd already started this. And then I thought, you know what? I need to videotape this and show you what I do and how I do it. So I want to show you what I've done. I went in and we had traced this from the drawing that we did. Remember, you can go in and make changes if you need. You need to adjust something, you can on this before you trace it, or that's what I did, was I traced it on this watercolor paper. And now we're going to go paint it.